home, and yes, I did a day's work. I did a day's work. Yeah, I gotta share a testimony, okay? I gotta share a testimony. When my baby was born, ever since she was born, the doctors always measured her weight and made sure she was on target and told me she's in the 34 to 40 percentile. When I look back, that was some Nazi Germany type of crap. And it seemed to me like as my baby was getting older, you know, as she got into school, people thought like, oh, she's a non-talker. Well, she was a non-talker. Matter of fact, because mama had to go to work because daddy wasn't around, I put my baby in daycare. And when I put her in daycare, she was in Esmeralda was Spanish. Well, yeah, Spanish speaking, but a Latino woman. And my daughter, some of her very first words were in Spanish. I couldn't understand a daggone thing. Like when Esmeralda would talk to her, my daughter would respond. And sometimes to me it was like, okay, you're not speaking my language. And I remember when we were in church, I remember the one of the ladies, she's so sweet. In Bible study, she was like, "Mom, I'm gonna think you're gonna need to get your daughter's hearing checked because I think she reminds me of a little girl and she may be deaf." And I said, "My daughter's not deaf." I said, "Symphony, say goodbye." She said, "Bye." They was looking like, "Oh snap!" I said, "She speaks Spanish." And because of that, I remember it was a Latino young little girl there, and she was like, "I knew. I thought I was just hearing things. I can hear her saying her numbers in Spanish." And I'm like, "Yeah." So when she got in school, what is this behind me? What is this behind me? When she got in school, um, hold on, y'all. What is this behind me? When she got in school, they kept saying like she's not responding, she plays by herself, she doesn't take to the other students, she's not paying attention, she's not doing this, she's not doing that. I remember the very first time, I think she was like in kindergarten or whatever, and it was very stressful because the whole time, you know I remember it was the principal had to talk to me because I was in tears because the teachers were like, um, we're just very concerned because she's not verbal and she's not doing this and she's not doing that. And I'm just like, there's nothing wrong with my baby. Every child learns differently. Every child learns differently. And after that meeting, I was literally crying. I was literally upset, like, my child is fine, you know what I mean? And then um when she got into the first grade, no, she was in the first grade. She wasn't in kindergarten. Was she in kindergarten? I don't even remember. COVID happened and she had school in her daggone room where kids' faces was on the video, you know what I mean? So it was on the computer on the screen. So in a nutshell, then that's fast forward to second grade. They had to have a talk with me about my daughter because they were like, she plays with kids, but she kind of plays like sideways, and she does this and she does that. And I'm just like, and I think the last draw was last year when they wanted that. I said, look, 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 look. Ain't nothing wrong with my child. Okay. My child is a quiet child and there's nothing wrong with her. And I had to tell them, y'all not gonna stress me out. Well, we think we think her reading grade level, she understands, but we don't think she comprehends, and she does this and we don't think that. And I'm like, I ain't trying to hear that. And I had to tell them this. My daughter, this was last year. I had to tell them, my daughter is only gonna be 7 one time. Then after that, she's going to be 8. Then she's going to be 9. Then she's going to be 10. Then she's going to be 11. All that stress, I'm going to cherish every single moment that I have with my child. And no, she's not an Einstein as soon as I pushed her out, but she's very unique in her own way. I have to say this because I just got her report card, and my baby got straight A's. Well, she got a B here and there, which no, she got a B, but she got straight A's, everything else. And I said, well, look at here. So y'all was trying to tell me that my baby was not comprehending at some point in time, but now all of a sudden, she's doing excellent, 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 excellent. And I'm just like, but the whole time, all them couple of years, y'all wanted to have y'all little meeting with me. And that last meeting, they decided not even to have it. I guess because my daughter was doing so well, they was like, man, we don't need to meet with her mom. So I am so proud of my daughter. I am so proud. When we go to bed at night, we say a prayer, and I ask God to protect her and keep her and enlarge her territory and give her knowledge and wisdom that she would do exceedingly and abundantly in school, that she'll speak up and be heard. And I'm gonna tell you something, but though God answers prayers, because now my baby, when I tell you, when she reads like a narrator. She'd be like, no, the bee said this, pop. Oh, and I was like, I'm like, wow. And I remember y'all was like, she don't know, she's not comprehending, she's not speaking. Now my daughter talk. I say this because a lot of people, they thought Albert Einstein, when he was like 5, 6 years old, they thought he was a problem child, like he was going to have mental issues and mental illness or whatever issues. But he was a professor. This dude was smart, man. To this day, a lot of folks use, what his thoughts about quantum physics and all this other type stuff. And I was like, see, now you see what I see in my child. So I'm super excited and I'm super proud of my baby. And I don't care, if, to be honest with you, I don't care if she had C's. I know my baby. She's smart. She's a very, very, very smart. Some things I'll be like, who taught you that? Or how did you learn that? And I'll be like, and I always tell her, I'm so proud of you. You're so smart. You're so funny. You're so sweet and you're so kind. I always push that in my daughter's mind, in her head, like you can do anything you put your mind to. But the mere fact that I got my daughter's progress report and I saw that, I was like, see, and y'all was trying to have conversations with me about she's just not saying anything. She's just not talking. And I remember years ago, I'm not even saying like years ago, I remember asking my daughter, how come you not saying nothing? How come? Because they make me think like something's wrong. I said, how come you not saying anything to mommy? How come you're so quiet? You know what she said to me? Because I don't feel like talking. I said, well, I'll be daggone. The child don't feel like talking. The child don't feel like talking. And now she's talk, mommy, this, that, and the third. And mommy has an excellent imagination. And that's another thing, too, is that I don't want school to stunt her imagination. I want her to imagine and create, because those are the real geniuses, are those that are allowed to create. Everyone else that's just like in a rat race to graduate so they can make the government more money by the jobs that they work, by the labor. But those who think outside of the box, that's the true gift right there, when you're able to just explore. And so I'm just really excited because I remember, mom, we need to have a talk. We need to have a talk about your daughter because she's really quiet, and we need to, I notice when she does play, but she plays, and I remember one time, um we were in a doctor's office, and this was a couple of years back. This wasn't even a doctor. My daughter put her the nurse tried to look into my daughter's ears, and my daughter put her hands over her ears, and she was crying like, don't. And I knew as a mother, she's saying don't touch her daggone ears, that's why she crying. And the doctor said, oh, well, she wasn't even a doctor. I don't even know what she was. She was like, I think she may be autistic. Do you want me to diagnose her and stuff? I said, absolutely not. My daughter's not autistic. I know autistic. I have an autistic brother. I know autistic. Absolutely not. And then she said, well, it's because she covered her ears and cried because she don't want you touching her ears. Dang. As a mom, my cousin told me this. As a mom, you're supposed to be your children's advocate and their mouthpiece when they can't speak. I know my daughter, I wouldn't want you to touch my ears either. So anyway, she did a follow-up appointment. Different doctor asked her questions and was like, oh, great job. It asked her to read certain things. Oh, you excellent. And I'm thinking to myself, see, and this daggone creature, this heifer, thought she was gonna sit up here and diagnose my daughter. Sometimes some people look at your kid and automatically look at you and be like, oh, I want to label your child. You're not gonna do that to mine. And I had to tell them teachers, like, I said, let me tell you something, because like I know, and don't get me wrong, I'm big on education and learning is key. That is an awesome thing to learn. And people, when you go back into history, people really fought just to learn how to read. So I'm really big on learning, but I also know BS when I see BS. Okay, that's just like when that doctor that showed up when I gave birth to her old pediatrician. All of a sudden, he switched like a 10 speed when she was 3 years old, going to ask me, does she know if she a girl? I looked at him like, are you crazy to be asking me, do my 3-year-old know that she's a girl? Of course she knows she's a girl. And he kind of snickered, like somebody told him that this is mandated. He got to ask this. So I say this, some institutions and doctors too. I don't trust doctors. I don't trust all doctors, okay? And I don't trust all teachers. So when them teachers was just like, we think that we have a great concern. Now ain't nobody saying a daggone thing other than your daughter has been doing extreme. She's doing well, and I'm just like, see, prayer. And God knows, like, just give them time. Give them time. Like some kids just come out the womb and they expect these babies to be doing push-ups and working in the freaking, like some daggone banker, or you know what I'm saying, like some accountant. Like, give them time. The child only been on this earth for 3 years, man. What do you expect them to do? Get a scalpel and start doing open heart surgery? Give kids time and let them be kids, for goodness sakes. My daughter don't look at none of that dark stuff. She don't look at anything that her eyeballs cannot take, okay? And that's why I don't look at dark things. And I don't look at certain things around my home, because my daughter should be free to walk in and out of whatever room, whatever I'm looking at. And it shouldn't be to the point where, you know what I mean, it can scare her or something jump up on the screen. But I'm like, really, like, I look back and I just say, see, I remember when y'all was like, we think we may gonna have to, just make sure she can communicate, because my daughter she wasn't speaking up at one point in time. Now her pronunciation is just on point, and she's doing great, and I'm so proud of her. I'm so proud of my baby. I'm so proud of her. She is I'm super duper proud of my daughter. I am. I'm like, you're just doing awesome. Just absolutely awesome. I couldn't even be proud of her. When she reads a book, she reads, and she reads very good. And I remember, well, I don't think that. I don't think this, that, and the third. And now it's just like, look at her. I'm like, see, I'm so proud of her. And I remember back in the day, her kindergarten or her first grade teacher would be like, kiss your brains. I'd be like, kiss your brains, Symphony. She'd be like, mwah, ha, ha. Like, my baby smart, smarter than whips. I'm just so proud of her. But the tables turn. That's why you can't let people tell you what you can't do and what you can do. Don't let nobody stunt your growth, because you do that and you won't grow. You do that and you, that's it and that's all, So I'm really extremely, I'm so grateful for my daughter. Anyway, I had to share that testimony. So if you got any youngins out there and the teacher, like, and that's another thing too. I met a woman today, I met her a couple of days ago. She's grieving over her daughter. And today she brought a family portrait to my office to show me her baby that went on to be with the Lord. And she was like, her doctor wants to give her this, that, and the third. I'm like, girl, don't be popping daggone pills. I said, grieving is a natural thing. A pill ain't gonna cover none of that. A pill is not gonna cover none of that. You know what I mean? This is grieving. But don't be, a pill ain't gonna cover none of that, honey. You gotta go through the process, but you gotta move on. I told her, you got other children and grandchildren, you got a life to live. It ain't time for you to go. It ain't time for you to go. And plus, she said her daughter did a lot of suffering. And said, daggone well, once she got into her heavenly body, she was like, deuces. I wouldn't come back even if you asked me. and the lady told me with my father passing away, she was like, you doing really good. Because I know my father in heaven. And I know if I said, Dad, I miss you so much. Could you come back down here and get in this wheelchair and let me my father look at me like, girl, bye. He wouldn't, he know his daughter, not to ask me them questions. When somebody is saved, where they're at. And I know the grieving part of it, because we love them, we miss them, and we know we're not going to see them until we see them again. But this is all a part of life. But anyway, I just wanted to share my testimony. I was going to go out tonight and try get some stuff done, but I'm going home, and I'm going to go home, and I'm going to lay in my bed. I'm going to lay in my bed. I'm going to lay in my bed. I'm going to see my baby and celebrate with her and get her favorite chips. And that's what I'm going to do today. That's what I'm going to do today, darlings. I'm wondering why nobody. I didn't do nothing. Like, dang. You act like you don't see nobody. Driving like a bat out of hell. Man, I hope they take your picture. I hope you get a ticket, sir, just for trying to scare people. Woo, 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 woo. Oh, y'all, let me get off of here. Y'all have a